If someone is not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe today. Like, follow and share for more such videos. Hi everyone, welcome to a new video of MATLAB. In today's video, we'll be learning about integers. So integers as a topic is being introduced to children from grade 4 onwards, irrespective of their boards. In today's video, we'll be learning what is integers, what is absolute value, operation of integers, properties of integers, addition and subtraction, multiplication and division, and word problems. Word problems related to integers as such. Any child is first introduced to natural numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, etc. to the infinity, and these are called also as counting numbers. Then slowly they're introduced to whole numbers. So what are whole numbers? All natural numbers along with 0 are whole numbers. So all the operations that we learn, addition, subtraction, multiplication and division in grade 1, grade 2 and grade 3, okay, all these are done on whole numbers as such. By the time you move on to grade 4, you're introduced slowly to negative numbers. So what are these negative numbers? So all those numbers on the other side of 0, like -1, -2, -3. This is also called counting numbers, but they are negative numbers as such. They are called as negative numbers, negative integers as such. And all these negative numbers are less than 0. Integers, be it positive integers or negative integers, they are infinite as such. Coming to 0, 0 is neither a positive integer nor a negative integer. As just now we told, so all the numbers on the left side of 0 are negative integers. All the numbers on the right side of 0 are positive integers. 0 is neither a positive nor a negative integer. Absolute value. The distance of a number from 0 is the absolute value of that number. For example, if I take the number 4. So, how far away is number 4 from 0? Number 4 is 4 counts or 4 jumps away from 0 as such, if you're looking at a number line. Similarly, -4. So, how far is -4 away from 0? It is 4 counts away from 0. Therefore, the absolute value of 4 or -4 is 4 only. Therefore, in simple words, if one has to define absolute value, we can say that absolute value of an integer is the numerical value of the integer as such. What is it? We repeat once again. Absolute value of an integer is the numerical value of an integer. An absolute value usually are represented or are put inside 2 bars as such. How we are seeing number 5 or number -8. Both are put between 2 bars. So the absolute value of 5 is nothing but 5. If you're noticing, the absolute value of -8 is nothing but 8. Learn this further with a few examples. The absolute value of -45 is nothing but 45. The absolute value of 120 is 120. The absolute value of -25 plus 10 is nothing but 25 plus 10, and the answer will be 35. Let us further evaluate a few more sums. 12 plus -20, that's absolute value of -20, which is nothing but 12 plus 20, and the answer will be 32. If we multiply two absolute numbers, that is -11 into -2, we will derive an answer 11 into 2, which is nothing but 22. Now let's discuss about operation of integers as such. Students should remember these basic rules. For example, positive integer added to a positive integer, the resultant sum will be a positive integer. Example, 5 plus 3 is nothing but 8. Negative integer added to a negative integer will be a negative integer. For example, minus 5 added to minus 3, the resultant answer will be minus 8. Positive integer added to a negative integer or vice versa, negative integer added to a positive integer, the resultant sum or the answer will either be positive integer or negative integer as such. Subtraction of integers. Positive integer subtracted from positive integer, negative integer subtracted from negative integer, positive subtracted from negative integer, negative subtracted from positive integer. Okay. So here what we do is we try to keep the first integer as the same. If there are brackets, we just remove the brackets and just retain. Suppose if it is minus 10 is the first given number or first integer, we retain as minus 10. The first number is 15, we retain this 15 only. Then we move further. Then what we do? For the second integer onwards, we try to change its sign. For example, it's a positive integer, we change it to negative. If it's a negative integer, we change it to positive. Then it's very simple. We try to apply or follow the rules of addition of integers. We will learn these operations with a few examples in the coming video itself. Okay, so now let's see rules for multiplication of integers. When a positive integer is multiplied with a positive integer, the resultant product is going to be a positive integer. When a negative integer is multiplied with a negative integer, the resultant product is going to be a positive integer. Let's see some examples. For example, for positive integers, say 5 into 3, the resultant product is 15. That's also a positive integer. Say when it comes to negative, say minus 4 multiplied with minus 3. Minus 4 multiplied with minus 3. Both are negative integers multiplied. Now what is 4 3s are? 12. So the answer is going to be 12 because minus into minus is plus. Hence, the resultant product is a positive integer which is 12. Now, if I have a positive integer multiplied with a negative integer or negative integer multiplied with a positive integer, the resultant product is going to be a negative integer. Say 8 into minus 3 or minus 8 into 3. The resultant answer is going to be minus 24 only. Okay. Coming to division of integers. Almost the rules are the same as that of multiplication of integers. Positive integer divided by positive integer, the resultant quotient is going to be positive. Negative integer divided by negative integer, the resultant quotient is also going to be positive. Positive integer divided by negative integer or a negative integer divided by a positive integer, the resultant quotient is going to be a negative integer. Let's move. Okay. We will try to learn or discuss about the properties of integers. There are almost like 6 properties. We will see how these properties will be applied to addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Some hold good for all the 4 operations. Some hold good for only 2 or only 1 operation as such. Now coming to closure property. Closure property holds good for addition, subtraction, and multiplication. But closure property does not hold good for division. That is, when 2 integers are added together, the resultant sum is going to be an integer. When 2 integers are subtracted, the resultant difference is going to be an integer. When 2 numbers are multiplied with each other or 2 integers are multiplied with each other, the resultant product is going to be an integer. Whereas when two integers are divided up with each other, the resultant quotient might not always be a integer as such. Therefore, closure property holds good for addition, subtraction and multiplication only. Now coming to commutative property. Here what happens? We may take two integers as such. In whichever way they are added together, say for example a plus b or b plus a, answer is going to be the same. Similarly, a plus b multiplied together, okay, say a into b or b into a, the resultant product is going to be the same. So they are multiplied in any order, the answer is the product is the same. So commutative property holds good for addition and multiplication, whereas commutative property does not apply for subtraction or does not hold good for division as such. Coming to associative property, we might have three integers. When these three integers are added together by grouping them in any order, the resultant sum is going to be the same. Say a plus b plus c. First you might add ab and then you might add with c. Or first you might add bc, then you might add it with a. The answer is still going to be the same. Similarly, when it comes to multiplication, a into b into c. I'm going to first group ab and then multiply it with c. In the second case, I might first multiply bc and then multiply it with a. However I do, my resultant product is going to be the same. Therefore, associative property again hold good only for addition and multiplication. And subtraction of integers is not associative. Similarly, associative property does not hold good for division. Now, going further, distributive property of multiplication over addition and subtraction. As the name itself is telling, this property is basically applicable only for multiplication as such. For example, I am having a into b plus c. When I expand it, it becomes a into b plus a into c. Okay. So this is distributive property of multiplication over addition and subtraction. When it comes to subtraction, we are going to say it as a into b minus c, which is nothing but a into b minus a into c. If anyone is already introduced to perimeter, and that to perimeter of rectangle, you might remember 2 into L plus B. Yes, there also the same property is getting applied, whether you say 2 into L plus B or you say 2 into L plus 2 into B. Still the resultant answer is going to be the same. Now coming to identity property as such. When 0 is added to an integer, the sum is the integer itself. For example, I say a plus 0, answer is going to be a. So the identity property of, or rather 0 becomes the identity property as for addition as such. Now coming to multiplication, when an integer is multiplied with 1, the product will be the integer itself. For example, a into 1, answer is a. Therefore, 1 becomes the identity property of multiplication. Similarly, when any integer is divided by 1, the quotient is the number itself. When any number is divided by 1, the quotient is the number itself. Therefore, identity property we have for addition, multiplication as well as for division. For subtraction, we don't have identity property as such. Going further, multiplication or division by 0. When any number is multiplied by 0, the product is 0. When 0 is, we try to do division of 0 by any integer, the result answer is going to be 0. Right? When any number is multiplied by 0, the resultant answer is 0. When 0 or we try to do division of 0 by any integer, the resultant quotient is going to be multiplication or division property by 0 as such. Now let's look into some sums. for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. This will just give us an extra practice. The first sum says 15 plus minus 3. So positive integer is getting added to a negative integer. So it's going to become 15 minus 3. How minus 3 means? Plus that operation sign, that's addition sign, plus into the integer minus will make it negative. So plus into minus is minus, hence it is minus 3. So 15 minus 3 is nothing but 12. The next one says minus 25 plus minus 8. So two negative integers are getting added. So again, plus into minus is nothing but minus. Therefore, it's going to be minus 25 minus 8. So when two negative integers are getting added, we are going to add it up and put the negative sign in front of it. So 25 plus 8 is 33. The resultant sum is going to be minus 33. The next one, minus 20 plus 25. So minus 20 plus 25. So one is a negative number, one is positive number. We're going to take a difference of it and retain the sign of a greater number. So the difference is 5. Here the greater number is 25 as it is positive. Hence the resultant sum is going to be positive integer. Minus 23 minus 39 is going to give a resultant sum as minus 62. Minus into minus is plus. Therefore it's going to be minus 8 plus 6. Again one is negative, one is positive. Take the difference. Retain the sign of the greater number. Here the greater number is 8 which is a negative number. Hence the sign is going to be minus. So the resultant sum is minus 2. Minus 31 plus 13. The difference or the sum is going to be minus, the difference is going to become minus 18. Minus 85 minus minus 45. So minus to minus is plus. So we take the difference between both and retain the sign of the greater number. So the answer is minus 40. Moving forward. 23 minus minus 11. So 23 plus 11 is nothing but 34. 19 minus 6. This is a simple subtraction sort of thing. So answer is going to be 13. Minus 45 minus 15. So the resultant answer is going to be minus 60. When two negative numbers like this we are having, we are going to add it and retain the negative sign. Next we have two absolute values. So minus 100 is nothing but 100 minus 120 is nothing but 120. Therefore 100 plus 120 is 220. The additive inverse of minus 13 is going to be 13. Suppose if the question was additive inverse of 51, then the answer would have been minus 51. Going to sum number 13 and 14, these are, we are having like four, integers being given and we are supposed to add and subtract. So it's like a mixed operations being given. There is not much space over here, hence I am not doing step-by-step workout, but I request you all to do it. So this is how we are going to write the first statement, where I am going to remove the bracket and change the sign. So 132 plus 38, again plus into minus is minus, therefore it's going to become minus 19 and it's going to be minus 99. So first what I'm going to do, I'm going to add 132 plus 38. I'll get some answer. For that I'm going to minus 19. With that resultant answer, I'm going to further minus 99. The final result of the answer is going to become 52. Same thing for sum number 14. 1, 2, 3, that's 1238. So minus into minus is plus, therefore it's going to become plus 64. And then plus 930 and minus 430. Here we can do in two ways. One, add all the first addends, that's three integers, the first three integers together and then subtract from the fourth integer. Or else I can first add the first two integers, get my sum, for that sum add the third integer 930. Then from that resultant I can minus 430. However I do, I will finally arrive at an answer 1802. It's nothing but 1802. So this is how addition and subtraction sums will be, addition and subtraction sums will be done. Here we have a couple of sums for multiplication and division. The first sum says 8 into minus 4. So positive integer getting multiplied with a negative integer. So 8 into minus 4 is nothing but minus 32. So we are going to multiply it as usual but retain the negative sign. Next one says minus 18 divided by 9. So minus 18 divided by 9 is nothing going to be 2. So 18 divided by 9 is 2, but we retain the negative sign over here. Next one says minus 12 into 6 plus minus 12 into 3. To just confuse or for whatever reasons, a bracket has been inserted for the third integer, that is minus 12. Okay, even if that would not have been there, still the workout or the sum or the answer is going to be the same. So first what I'm going to do, I'm going to write it like this. So minus 12 into 6 plus, I'm going to put a square bracket and again copy that minus 12 within the parenthesis into 3 and close the square bracket. So first I'm going to work out with first two digits. So to minus 12 into 6 nothing but minus 72. This side I'm going to work out minus 12 into 3 is nothing but minus 36. Now minus 72 plus into minus is minus, therefore minus 36. So minus 72 minus 36, we derive an answer minus 108, that is 108. Next I'm having minus 3 into minus 3 into minus 3. Here when I multiply the first two integers, okay, I'm going to, like, minus to minus becomes plus. The resultant answer is going to be positive. Next, from that answer, if I'm going to multiply with minus 3, the resultant answer is going to become negative. Therefore, the final answer is going to become minus 27 because 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. So the final answer is going to be minus 27. Next, 550 divided by minus 11, the answer is going to become minus 50. Minus 3650, that is 3650 divided by minus 50. A negative integer divided by negative integer, the resultant quotient is going to become positive. Hence the answer over here is 73, which is a positive integer. The last sum, dash divided by minus 130 is equal to 0. We have all have seen the last property, multiplication or division by 0. So the same property is going to be used over here. 0 divided by minus 130, the resultant quotient is going to be 0. So these were some sums to give you a quick practice. Moving further, let's look into some word problems. So the first word problem says subtract minus 34 from 96 and add it to minus 112. So when I am saying subtract or minus, minus 34 from 96, okay, from, so that minus 34 from 96, therefore minus 34 becomes the subtrahend and 96 becomes the minuend. This is where many children get confused as such. Some by fluke they will do, because always in subtraction we usually have a greater number as a minuend and a smaller number as a subtrahend. They use that logic but without using the logic behind it. Okay, so always when such questions have been asked, subtract dash from dash, so the first number is the subtrahend in such questions as such. So the statement, the number statement is going to become 96 minus 34. Now this difference or this answer, what is going to we are going to derive it from that, we are going to add it to minus 112. So this is the question all about. So 96 plus 34, because minus into minus was plus, I get an answer called 130. From this 130 I am going to add this answer to minus 112. So the resultant final answer is going to become 18. Going to the second sum, if the sum of two integers is minus 10, so the sum is already been given. If the sum of two integers is minus 10 and one of the integers is minus 6, then the other integer is what, or dash. Okay, so the sum is being given. Now the other integer, let us keep it as x. So x plus, it's an addition sum, they're asking for sum. So x plus minus 6 is equal to minus 10. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to retain x on the left hand side and transpose minus 6 from LHS to RHS, from the left hand side to the right hand side. So now it will become x is equal to minus 10 minus minus 6, which is nothing but minus 10 plus 6. The resultant answer is going to become minus 4. Therefore, the other integer that is wanted is nothing but minus 4. Even if you cross check this, we will derive at the given answers as such, that is minus 4 plus minus 6, will derive it as minus 10 as the answer. Let's see one more word problem or statement problem. A submarine was located 800 feet below sea level. When we say below sea level, it's nothing but minus or the negative number it is. Okay, so 800 feet below sea level. Calculate its new position if it ascends. Ascends means it's going up now. 350 feet from its position. Okay, so how are you going to the solution? First you're going to write given, then find, and then do the final calculation of the solution as such. The initial position of the submarine is 800 feet below sea level, which is nothing but minus 800. It ascends 350 feet from its position, that is plus 350. So the new position, so what are you supposed to find? The new position of the submarine. Thus the new position of the submarine is nothing but minus 800 plus 350. So one is negative, one is positive. Take the difference between both. So 800 minus 350 is nothing but 450. The greater number is 800, so we retain the negative sign. So the resultant answer is minus 450. Thus, the new depth of the submarine is minus 450 feet. Okay, I hope it is clear till here. This is just in a general, whenever you're trying to solve a statement or a word problem, what is the process? How are we going to break it down as such? So the very first step is break apart the problem to determine which operation symbol is needed to be used and pull out the data from the expressions as such. So the student needs to read the problem and see what is supposed to be done, what is given, what is supposed to find, and how to go further. The best way to do is a couple of steps I'm giving. Write the word problem. Then write what do you know about it. So what do you know from the given data? What do you know? What did you analyze? What did you comprehend from the problem as such? Next, what do you need to find out? What do you need to find out from the given problem as such? And how will you find out? What do you need to find, and then how we are going to find it out? Then solve the problem. Lastly, please cross-check the answer. This is a simple process, the easiest way to solve any given statement problem, because statement problem is something which students usually fear. They will solve any other given sums, fill in the blanks, MCQs and all that, but when it comes statement problem, many of them even leave it in the exam and come. Please don't do it. Read the question, analyze, and write it like this step by step. You'll be able to solve it. Thanks for watching our video. Please support us like this. Please give us your love and affection like this. We will continue to educate always. Thanks. Have a great day.